What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Lakeshow Talk Show. It's Dominic. I'm here with Briss. We're about to get into it, changing subjects on this episode. We're going to get into UFC 249 happening this Saturday. Briss, tell me what you know, man.
So, man, this is an event that people need to watch, whether you like the fight game or you don't. This is where you see the most creativity, the most explosive, the most craziest thing probably that's ever happened in UFC history, right? You're going to see that UFC 249 doesn't have super huge names like your Conor McGregor, like your Khabib, like your Jon Jones, but I'm telling you guys, this is probably the biggest fight card in all of UFC history and MMA history. Like, it's stacked from top to bottom. I mean, prelims to the top of the main card. Like, none
Right.
of these fights are going to be boring. I mean, if you don't know these guys' names, I encourage you to go and watch, whether it be through pay-per-view or you go and watch it.
Yeah. I mean, and then with the Francis Ngannou, like that was supposed to happen March 28th, got canceled because of the whole COVID going on. So now that's stacked onto this fight card here. So I mean, man, there's big names here.
Yeah.
Big names going down.
Yeah, and you know what? I got to give credit to the main guy that's the head of this operation, Dana White. I mean, he has his critiques, right? People say that he's probably one of the worst or evil promoters that doesn't want to help the fighters. Da da da. I don't want to hear it. After this, I don't want to hear it. I mean, this guy had to literally pull everything from anywhere to get this event going, right? Like, they have a 30, like he said on an interview recently, I forgot where, but he said that they had to get 30 pages of instructions and give it to the governor of Florida, the mayor of Jacksonville, and the Florida Athletic Commission of how they're going to conduct all these processes, how they're going to make sure the fighters are safe, how they're going to make sure that this event is not going to spread COVID-19, and he's just going to make it safe for everybody. I mean, these guys are getting swabbed as they enter the hotel. The hotel's on lockdown. They have their own private sauna. They have their own room, and only certain people can go into that room. I mean, the announcers are getting swabbed. The referees are getting swabbed. I mean, there's just shifts. There's going to be no – they literally have a sauna for each individual person. No one is sharing anything. These guys are
right. It's well protected.
Yeah, these guys are making sure that this event is going to be top of the line, safe, and ready to go. And I think Dana White is just genius for this. What's your thoughts on that, man?
No, yeah. I'm excited. Side note on that, I know we're going down in Florida, but originally he was trying to push this and get this going down in Lemoore, right? Lemoore, California, and we're Central Valley guys. That's down the street, and man, that would have been so cool for it to happen there. I mean, obviously fans aren't allowed yet, but it worked out in our favor because it's fans aren't allowed. So, but in the future, because of the casino was going to hold the event, because they were so cooperative with Dana, he really wants to come back and bring a huge fight card there. So I'm hoping when that happens, fans are going to be allowed to watch. So that'd be pretty cool for us to go and experience that, man. But yeah, Dana's relentless. He don't care. He's bringing the sport. This is going to be the first live TV in sports that we're going to have, since, I don't know, I think since the WrestleMania, which they had no fans. But this going to be obviously a lot more entertaining. It's more, not to get on WWE, but this is more real. It's more live. But man, you got to give credit to Dana. He's really pushing it here. And I think we're all going to be grateful for this. UFC is going to be put on a different level right now. Everybody's going to be watching it. Right? You got to watch something. I mean, we all watched Horse. I watched a little bit of it, but you got guys watching the game of Horse from the NBA on live TV, so they're going to watch this.
I mean, I wasn't one of those guys, but I know it was on national TV. And it's like, we're that desperate for sports, guys. Like we're rerunning the NBA Finals every Friday or Saturday. I forgot which day. I mean, these guys are grasping for headlines, and it's hard for them, like ESPN I mean, literally they're taking takes on The Last Dance. I mean, we are as well. Don't get me wrong.
Right. No, yeah, and that's very exciting news going on right now. But yeah, we're desperate. I got like I watched a little bit of the horse thing, and I'm like, man, this is boring. But I don't know why I'm watching it. I'm so desperate to like get into sports again, man. I'm so mad they canceled it all. I want it to come back right now. But yeah, let's jump into UFC, dude. I want you to break down the fight card. Break it down.
So, okay, for everybody that's not gonna watch the main card, I will tell you what. This is one of the most stacked undercards I've seen. This could be its own fight night by itself, right? Fight nights are non-paid, non-pay-per-view, and they're usually for just people that find it on a Friday night, and guys go at it, and there's a main card, right? But I'm telling you, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Headliner, Anthony Pettis versus Donald Cerrone 2. I mean, that's just a great way to start off the card. Um, the co-main is going to be Fabricio Verdum versus Aleski Olenek. I believe that's how you say it. I mean, those two guys are veterans of the sport. They're kind of on the downward end of their career, but these guys are going to show who can still go and who's going to retire the other one first. That's what that type of fight
Right.
is. And then we have our ladies who are fighting, which is Michelle Watterson, the karate hottie. She wants to get back on top, and I mean she's a star. I mean, what anybody says, she's fought the best of the best, and then she's fighting Carla Esparza, and she's a great wrestler, and it's just gonna be a battle of styles for that fight card or for that fight.
Yeah.
Um, and then you got the dark horse of the night, which is gonna be Uriah Hall versus Jacare Souza.
Yeah, Uriah Hall. I still remember that one clip he did where he did that. Man, he knocked that dude out cold. Like that's a big
This is
thing. I
a
remember when I heard his name.
this is a guy that is scary. I mean, scary, right? Uriah Hall is one guy that literally nobody wants to sign the dotted line, and people have said it. They do not want to sign the dotted line, and somebody did. His name's Jacare Souza from Brazil, and that guy is a nightmare as well on the ground and with his striking as well. I mean, it's gonna be a fun fight. Um, and then your next one's gonna be Vicente Luque versus Nico Price. That's gonna be a surprise.
Right.
I don't know much about that fight necessarily. I know Vicente Luque was a contender. Unfortunately, he lost against Wonderboy Thompson, and he's not gonna be in that contention unless he wins. And the same goes for Nico Price. I believe he's on a losing streak. But these guys are just trying to get that redemption win and keep going forward. Right after that is going to be Bryce Mitchell versus Charles Rosa. I mean, Bryce Mitchell is the guy that just did the twister. He got the submission of the year. Second person that got twister of the year.
Yeah. Right.
And
That's crazy.
I mean, the guy wants his camel shorts. Give him his camel shorts, Reebok. If you're hearing me out there, just give them to him. I think that's just going to be exciting. I don't know much about Charles Rosa, but if he's fighting Bryce Mitchell, who's on the way up, I think it's going to be an exciting fight. And then we have Ryan Spann versus Sam Alvey. I haven't heard too much about that fight. I do know Dana was hyping it up, but unfortunately on those two, I don't know too much about. But overall, the fight cards, I mean, for just the undercard is insane. Like, it could be its own
Right.
fight itself. Which one do you want to start off with, Dom? Which fight?
Well, just to point out, anybody out there is looking to watch the prelims. There are, I think, ESPN Plus. You can watch it on there. I also think was it Fox Sports 1? It's also I think they show the prelims on there as well. I don't know if ESPN's gonna have. They'll probably have it. I'm assuming.
I believe ESPN is going to have it. I'm not exactly sure which channel, but
Right. I don't know, but
you should.
I mean, you gotta have it. It's live sports. You know, it's gonna be on these channels, right? The prelims, especially. You know, the pay per view you're gonna still have to pay for. But I want to get into, and I know we talked about this already, and I want to get into Pettis Cerrone. I want to get onto that take because for me, I know I'm Team Pettis over here, and I think you're siding with Donald Cerrone, if I'm not correct.
Yep, you're correct.
Right. So I mean, looking into it, they kind of have similar history, right? They're obviously good, experienced fighters. They have their big wins. They have losses as well, right? I mean, they lost against big name fighters too. For me, I was a big fan of Pettis when he first came out. I watched the MTV thing he did. I forgot what it was called, but I remember seeing that. That's how I first knew about him. The box of Wheaties. I had to eat my Wheaties. You know what I mean? When he lost that title, his title defense, I remember I went to go see that at a Buffalo Wild Wings. My lady's a fan of Pettis, and she's like, "Yo, who's he fighting?" It's like, I don't know the dude's name, but I mean, it's Anthony Pettis. He's gonna win. Next thing you know, I guess I must have jinxed it. I'm sorry, Pettis. I might have jinxed you there. He lost, but his fight style is crazy. To me, I think Pettis still has it. I think he's still gonna come out striking hard, and I think he's gonna do some crazy stuff. And both of these guys fought not too long ago in 246 in January.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Pettis came off the win. Cerrone, we know he fought the great McGregor, my opinion, the great. But Cerrone's coming off a tough loss. But I think Pettis is going to come in and take this win, man. That's how I feel.
All right, I'm gonna tell you straight up. Look, don't get me wrong. I like Pettis and all, right? He's known for the Showtime kick, Showtime punch, but Donald, I think Donald Cerrone just has an overall game that is better than than Anthony Pettis. Sorry, I just feel that his Muay Thai is a little bit more crisp, and that's how he's gonna keep him from grappling. Right? We understand both these guys are. I believe Donald Cerrone is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and so is Anthony Pettis. I believe. Not exactly sure on that. But they're both good on the ground, right? I believe this fight is gonna be straight up striking. The only thing is, and I will say it's a wild card, is that Donald Cerrone likes to stay in the pocket, even though he's getting hit. We've seen it in the Tony fight. We've seen it in the Gaethje fight. He stays in the pocket once he gets hit, and we've seen it in the Conor fight as well. He stayed in the pocket, and he got hit too many times. And unfortunately, we can say both of these guys are kind of on the end of their career.
Yeah, they're past their primes.
Yeah, but
for sure,
they're looking for that rebound back. I wouldn't say they're going to kick him out of the UFC yet, but I want to say they're on their downward curve. But I think Donald is going to come out just because he has a better Muay Thai game, and with Anthony Pettis, I feel unless he lands one of those spectacular Showtime kicks or cartwheel kick.
Oh, that's what you love to see. That's what the fans love to see. Showtime, baby.
Hey, I love to see it, but he hasn't been doing it lately, right? I mean, he did it against Tony, but then look what happened. Tony's a tough opponent, right? That's a scary guy.
No, yeah, I think Tony got the cut on his eye or something like that, right?
Yeah.
He cut him above the eye.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no excuse. To me, I was like, oh, man, he couldn't really see. That's why he lost. Come on now.
No.
But, I mean, Tony's a great fighter. We'll get into Tony after, but yeah.
He broke his hand.
Yeah.
And that could play a factor into this fight as well. But I think Pettis don't get me wrong. Both these guys get hit a lot in the pocket. And for me, it just looks like Pettis gets hit more in the pocket than Donald does. And if it goes to the ground, it's going to be an exciting fight because Donald has some tricky jiu-jitsu, and I know Pettis does as well. And it'd be kind of strange to see if this fight was ended by submission, in my opinion.
No, yeah, they're both evenly matched, I would say, yeah.
But I gotta give the slight edge to Donald. That's my opinion. I mean, people probably are like, he's old, he's at the end. But that's my opinion on that.
I think I'm sticking with the heart. I'm going on Pettis' side. I think the striking's going to come out. Cerrone, I think I was just watching Get Up this morning or some other sports show. They're talking about his mindset going into fights. I don't know if you heard about that, like going into the McGregor fight. Like he almost just it sounds like when he came out admitting to that mindset, it sounds like, maybe this guy's ready to hang up the gloves. I don't know.
So let me give my initial thought, right? My initial thought is, damn, I don't want to see this guy who you've probably heard about in MMA history. Like, he's going to end up like Chuck Liddell. Like, Chuck just wanted to keep fighting, and he got knocked out a lot. Even though people kept saying, let him fight. And no, man, these knockouts, they mess with your brain, right? They mess with your personality. And I'm going to be honest, if Donald does lose it by knockout, not by decision, by knockout, and it's a severe knockout, I want to say Dana should say, "Hey, let's talk about hanging it up." Just
Right.
just for the safety of the person, right? I love Donald. I'd love to see him fight, right? But he is 36-14 record. That's a lot of fights. That is a lot of fights. Uh, and to get knocked out viciously, I mean, by Gatry, then but Tony cut him up to where he couldn't see out of an eye. I mean, he
Well,
had
they both lost to the main event. They both lost to those
yeah, they
fighters.
both lost to the main event. But I mean, Anthony Pettis is coming out cleaner than Donald is. I'd say he's coming out cleaner, right? But I'm still gonna say that I think Donald's a veteran, and in that mindset, he's saying things that other people just don't want to come out saying. If that makes sense, I feel like
Okay.
other fighters are other fighters have this. Yeah, I can anybody in the ring at any time, anywhere, right? And then you hear one of the most famous guys ever, George St. Pierre, say this like every time I went in the ring, I was scared, and I think it's the same. So I'm not too worried. But I'd like to hear your take on that. That's my opinion.
No, yeah. I think I think he's getting close to the end of his time. Um, I don't know, man. I mean, I think I think it's time for him. I think he's coming there. He's coming around that. And for fighters, with him especially, to go in for that knockout punch, it's like you're risking it too, because you can get caught with a hit and go down. It's just like, to me, I kind of put it like as a shot blockers in the NBA. Do you get dunked on? You hear about Mutombo, all
Yeah,
you hear about is all the blocks, right? But he also got people get dunked on a lot too. But that's because you're taking the risk, you're going for it. So in fighters, the same thing. You're taking the risk, you're trying to get that knockout, you're going for it. And then I mean, but in all fights too, you can get caught. You can just get caught. Take a hit, and next thing you know, it's mental. It's a mental thing after that. How are you going to survive? But I think Cerrone's he's put a good fight career, man. But I think it's coming to an end. And Pettis too. I mean, if Pettis takes this win, obviously he's going to be on the come up again. But at the same time, he's past his prime. I think when he switched weight classes, he's I don't know. I liked him a little bit on the other weight class, but it would be nice to see him to kind of climb back up again. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
The only thing I see what you're saying about Pettis' weight cut, but I think it was, in my opinion, I think it was healthier, just because we used to see Pettis like he used to drain himself, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it looked unhealthy, right? Now he looks healthy. And, I mean, let's be honest, this lightweight division is filled with killers. I mean, these guys aren't even in the top 10, but they're one of the most known people in the fight game.
Yeah.
I mean, the lightweight division is insane right now. um, I mean, you got guys like the two main event, right? You have Justin Gaethje, Tony Ferguson. You have Dustin Poirier. You have Kevin Lee, who, I mean, if this guy got it together, he could be one of, like, the one to be on the come up and be a superstar. But he just can't right now.
Yeah.
You also have the champion Khabib Nurmagomedov. I mean, that
Man,
guy's.
I don't like that guy.
We, we could talk about that another day when he has his.
Yeah.
But what's the next fight you want to talk about? That's our opinion.
No. To me, I'm thinking this one might be the fight of the night, dude. The Francis Ngannou fight. That one's pretty exciting. What's your take on that? Who do you got for the win on there?
So we're going to the main card now, guys. This is where you watch it on pay-per-view as I wink. But this this five this five fights, man, and in the middle is Francis Ngannou versus Jairzinho Rosenstrike. I mean, you want knockout? Somebody's gonna get knocked out.
Yes, most definitely.
Um, I gotta go with Francis, but I will be the bad guy on this and say that Jairzinho, if he lands one, it's lights out. Um, just because of he's knocked out Alistair Overeem, right? In a 5-round fight, literally waited for Overeem to exhaust himself and caught him in the last 10 seconds
Oh yeah, that was a big. Ooh,
with
caught him
one
clean.
punch. with one punch.
He's got the power.
I mean, he's like a copycat of Derek Lewis. I could say that. But I think he has. The question is now, does he have cardio to go with Francis Ngannou? That's the question. Francis is that guy that will go 5 rounds as a heavyweight with no problem. Um, but he does have knockout power too, and I think it's just a matter of time who catches who. Because right, Francis is the guy that a lot of people think he can go into boxing professionally and do successful just because of his feet work and what he can do with his hands. I don't see this fight going to the ground, and if it does, that's gonna be really sad and ruin everybody's night. But I think I'm gonna go with Francis, but Jarzinho is scary, man. It's gonna be exciting to watch.
Oh yeah, for me, I'm gonna go the opposite way. I'm gonna go with Jorginho. I'm gonna believe in the knockout power. He's undefeated. You know what I mean? I think someone's getting knocked out. I'd be very disappointed if someone doesn't get knocked out. You know, or if it doesn't turn into exciting a battle of them just throwing hands at each other. But I think Jorginho's gonna catch him. I think he's gonna get caught. He's gonna catch Ngannou. But
Um,
it can go either way. I think it can go either way.
I don't think they've said. I think this is a 3 round fight, correct? Or is this a 5 round?
No, my bad. No, I think, well, because they were supposed to be a main event, so I don't know. I think it'll be a 3 round though, because I don't think
I think
they
it's a
want to cut
three
off
round
so much
fight.
time from the pay per view.
Yeah, I want to say it's a 3 round fight. Um, but if I had to put money on it, I don't think anybody's getting to that 3rd round. I think
No,
I
no, no.
I I, I know Francis could do it, right? Francis has fought Stipe, he's fought Derek Lewis and lost in decision in both. But Francis is new, man. He he's he's got the feet work. I mean, he's training at a great gym, and he's just learning and adapting. Um, Mind you, this guy hasn't been in the fight game long. He literally was a guy that was in poverty in his home country and just said, "I'm gonna start boxing." And then somebody told him, "Hey, I'm gonna be in it. You should be an MMA fighter." And then soon enough, he ended up in the UFC, and now look at he's on top of the world as top 3 contender,
Yeah,
or top 4 contender. Sorry. Um, I I will say this: this fight will determine who is next in line for the heavyweight division. Right? We understand
yeah,
that
I
D-
believe that.
we think DC and Stipe are having their little grudge match, whatever it is, their trilogy. Um, but honestly, I think those guys have accepted that they're at the end of their career.
Yeah, their time's gonna come.
Yeah, and they both want to end as champion. I feel. Um, so whether DC wins or not, DC said he's already going to retire. So there's one off the table. I believe Miocic has like 2 or 3 fights left, if that. Um, and then he'll retire. And then I think it's just going to be these guys. Um, but I think Francis comes out on top, and I guarantee it's going to be TKO or a KO by the second
Agree.
round. By the second round.
All right, yeah. So far we're on opposite ends with these fights we're taking. So let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the co-main event. Let's talk about that one.
Who you got?
Um, it's tough, man. It's a tough decision, but I'm gonna go with the champ on this one. I'm gonna go with Henry on this one. I think Dominic Cruz his time is done. You know, we're talking about some of these fighters being past their prime, being a little bit older. I think Henry's his Olympic champ, and I think he keeps improving his work ethic. You know, in his training, and I think he's gonna come out victorious in this one.
Yeah. Um, just to add on, because don't get me wrong, I like Henry, right? Um, as many people know, they call him Triple C for a certain reason. He's an Olympic champion. He was the flyweight champion, and he's the bantamweight champion.
Right.
Um, and arguably, I think he's right. I think he is one of the best combat athletes of all time. But this is where you show if you are the best combat athlete of all time. You play again, or you fight. Play. You don't play fight. You fight. Um, you're going against probably one they call the king of the bantam weight class. I mean,
Right, and he's proven it. Yeah.
he's the original, right? I mean, the only thing I'd say is Dominic Cruz has a big height advantage, right? It's probably going to be a reach advantage. Um, and what it is which Dominic Cruz do we get at the end of the day? Do we get the injury affected guy whose mindset is just not there, doesn't want to fight the same fight, and what happened in Cody Garbrandt's fight? Um, or do we get the Dominic Cruz who's came and beat Demetrius Johnson? I mean, just put on a show, right? And then who's beat TJ Dillashaw and put on a show? Um, and I get it, Henry's beat those guys too, but
Yeah.
it it wasn't a show. It compared to what Dominic did. Dominic with TJ especially, I feel it was a controversial win for Cejudo. He beat him, but it wasn't showcased to the best TJ. I mean, we all know what happened. He got banned for 2 years for being on the juice, but
Right.
um, Dominic went 5 rounds with a scary dude and outclassed him. I mean, took down, did a lot of takedown, a lot of clinching, and just overall striking and moving. And that's Dom's game. He's very unorthodox and will switch stances and bang with you, and you won't touch him.
No, yeah, I like that about him too. I like that about fighters too. Like, with that kind of fighting style. To me, I'm just thinking, like you said, like which one are we gonna get? Like, I mean, this guy's battled through injuries, but he's came back and proven that he's still the man. So I mean, it'd be very exciting to see him come back and do it again. But I just think it's his time's gone already. I don't know.
My thought on this is just like I think what it is if Dom can use his length and his reach to his advantage and starts to bully Henry, because don't get me wrong, I think Henry Cejudo has a better wrestling background. So he's not going to be dumb, right? He's an analyst for ESPN, literally giving fighters analyst of how they could beat the other person on live TV.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure a lot of these guys listen to him because he's probably one of the most proactive in finding out strategies up here before using these. I mean, but the thing is, how do you apply that to yourself? And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's harder, and he has to understand that that's harder. Um, and it just again, the big thing is right, the ring rust. He's proven it wrong, right, multiple times. But I don't know. It's the third time. When people say the third time, it usually hits, right? If something
Yeah.
happened the first 2 times, it's gonna hit the third time. And
Yeah. And,
I'm
and you don't wish that, you don't wish that on fighters. You don't really wish for the injuries and things like that to happen up. But I mean, it happens. But it's hard because he has a history of it. And man, I hope it doesn't happen. You want to see a great fight. You want to see everybody at their best. Cruz has become a great analyst. It happened in they're interviewing each other, and he told Cejudo, you know what? Well, I mean, if you're gonna go up to the bantamweight, then you're gonna have to beat the king of the bantamweight. And then they shook hands on it, said they're gonna get the fight going. And to Cejudo, that's what you want. You want to beat the best, man. You want to be proven like, what, I'm the man.
yeah.
And I think that's what he's gonna do.
And we have to keep in mind, right? Henry had just come off an injury and was wanting to go after Jose Aldo, which was another guy that was a king for a long, long time for the featherweight division.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
and I think Henry's in that mode where like I know the guys that are in my division aren't worth it. Might as well go for the legends that are still in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm scared for Henry. I like Henry a lot, but Dominic Cruz is one of those guys that's if he shows up on the night, it's lights out.
All
Uh,
right.
it
All
won't be a
right.
knockout. It won't be a knockout. I will guarantee
Yeah.
that it will not be a knockout. The only type of knockout, if it is possible, will be from Cejudo's side. I don't see any submission. I mean, don't get me wrong. Henry tried to pull off I believe it was a Darce choke in the Mariah's fight. It didn't go through. But other than that, I think it's going to come down to striking, and I feel Dom has the more elusive striking, where he can get in, get out, get in, and get out.
Okay. All right. So we're on opposite ends again, man. Let's bring it to the top. Let's bring it to the top one, the main event. You know, Justin Gaethje and Tony Ferguson. I'm gonna go with Tony. I don't know how you're feeling. You might feel similar. I don't know.
Um, Let me put it like this. This is the most violent fight we are going to see in a long time. This is gonna be a fight where people are gonna get hit and go down, and there's gonna be blood.
Knockout. You're predicting a knockout possibly?
If Justin Gaethje comes in the first 3 rounds, like how he usually does, and Tony does not have an answer, there will be a knockout. But then again, man, Gaethje's called the human highlight for a reason. Um, but it's because of his erratic style. He he goes in kind of blinded and just swings for the fences. And I think that's a downside for him, um, because he could be so much more technical and like try and pick apart his opponents with his power, but he doesn't. And Tony is one of those guys that, hey, you missed, but I'm gonna give you a spinning elbow and I'm gonna cut your face. Oh, you want to do it again?
Yes.
Here's a forward elbow. Um,
No, those elbows are deadly, man. They're deadly.
like he said, hey, slices and shades the other day in his interview. Um, I'm gonna say it over and over again. Tony Ferguson is the scariest guy in that division, and it's gonna be hard to beat him. I mean, the guy has unreal cardio,
Right.
unreal cardio. Um, and just like Justin Gaethje said, either I'm gonna go and knock him out, or he's gonna knock me out. It's not going to decision. So I think these guys are gonna go in. Tony's not gonna go for swinging the fences. I don't believe. I think he's gonna try and pick him apart, just because of the way he is. Right? He's not. I wouldn't say he's not a superstar striker, but once he starts getting those elbows in rhythm, you're gonna see blood. You're gonna see swelling. It may go to a doctor stoppage, as we've seen in the Cerrone fight. But Gaethje's that guy that is called the human highlight because all you need is one. Um, the
No,
guy,
yeah.
the guy's a wrestler. However, Tony's better than him in that aspect, I believe, because he is a
No, yeah.
national champ compared.
Yeah. National champ. Tony's a two-time All-American. You know, Gaethje's just
He was a state
one
wrestling
time.
champ, I believe. I don't know if that was in
Huh?
high school. I believe he was a state wrestling champ, and that was the
Yeah,
highest.
high school in Arizona. Gaethje was a two-time state champion, D1 All-American, but Tony was two-time All-American.
And national.
So yeah, and to me, Gaethje has nothing to lose here. You know, for him, he's got more of that. He's got that more of a dog in him, like, you know, more to prove himself. Because I mean, for it was supposed to be Tony Khabib, which something we would all look forward to. We all still want to see that, but now Gaethje's coming into the mix, and man, he can mix it up. He can blow that up right now and say, "No, I'm the champ. I'm coming for that." So yeah, I like that in him. But and he's got good work ethic too. You know, we know Tony's training's like crazy, but I mean, every fighter trains hard, right? And Gaethje trains just as hard. So I mean, but Tony Ferguson, I guess he's a wild animal, and it's gonna happen in a knockout. You know, anybody can get caught though. It's to me, it's like football. It's any given Sunday. You never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Anybody can just get caught with that punch. Next thing you know, you're rocked, and then boom, you go down. But no, man, Tony's gonna get it. Tony hasn't lost since 2012, I think, against Michael Johnson, right?
A 12 win streak, people. 12
Yes.
wins in a row. And don't get me wrong. I mean, these are killers, guys.
Yeah.
Rafael Dos Anjos beat. Kevin Lee beat. Who else? Cowboy Cerrone beat. Anthony Pettis beat. I mean, these are just guys that you don't see average champions going against the top guys like that, except for John Jones or other divisions, right? You see those guys battle out because that's the top of the top. That's their job. But this guy's an interim champion fighting the best guys. Isn't that kind of crazy? How the champion should be fighting the best guys, but Tony's the one fighting some of the most dangerous guys. I
Yeah,
mean,
and then not only that, Tony got hurt too and came back, and he's still fighting those guys. You know, he was supposed to fight Khabib a long time ago, I think, right?
five five reschedules. How
Yeah,
how crazy is that? And and none of them are like they want to blame each other for like, oh, you're scared, you're scared. From what it looks like is like it's just unlucky at times, right? Khabib literally can't get out of Russia
yeah. I mean,
in
there's no excuse there.
in a national pandemic. Last time was Tony had a freak accident in his knee. I mean, how do you guess these things? Like they're mad at each other that they haven't faced each other, but like what Dana needs to do is literally house these guys, say, hey, you're staying in these two houses, you're not getting out of this fight, and you're gonna be under supervision so no one gets into an accident, does something stupid, can't make weight.
Right.
We're getting this together.
No,
I,
yeah, we can't mess up this fight card. It's gonna be an exciting main event for sure, dude. I mean, it's gonna go down.
and PSA to everybody out there: if you are not Tony Ferguson, do not train like Tony Ferguson. You will get yourself hurt.
Oh man,
Am I
that's
wrong?
crazy.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong, dude. He's got a
If
killer training methods.
if you are not Tony Ferguson, and a lot of people will say after his injury he's insane for going to work out right after his surgery, and I will agree with those medical professionals. Do not train like Tony Ferguson unless you are Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, at the same time, he's taught the doctors to tell him what to do, but at the same time, he knows his own body, right? So he's like, no, I know my limits. I know my body. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I can't argue that, but that's a major injury, and then you go back back to start doing what you needed to do. But that's another story. But
Yeah. No. Overall, UFC 249. Dana, thank you. The world thanks you. This is gonna be very exciting, man. I mean, we're all excited for it.
yeah, and just to recap some things, guys. Um, I mean, we're talking about the main guys, the stars, right? The guys that we want to hear about. But these other two fights that are opening the card, I mean, you got Greg Hardy, who's an is he Dallas Cowboy?
That's yeah, ex Dallas Cow. That's another big name in here. Greg Hardy, ex NFL player, Dallas Cowboys turned MMA fighter. And I think there's talks of him possibly people saying he should go to the WWE. That would be great for him. Just like Ronda Rousey, but he's coming up.
I would say if you feel like you're getting wins, you're getting paid, you like it, stay in the UFC. If you want money, go to the WWE.
Right. No, yeah. I mean he's a big name already. If he's not getting those wins, then obviously he's got the chance to go right into WWE. I mean he still makes a lot of noise.
But mind you, his opponent is scary. I've seen him in a couple undercard fights, right? This guy, De Castro, I mean, he's put people to sleep. He put Justin Taffa to sleep. He was backing up because Justin Taffa was trying to take him down and put him against the fence. And literally all he did was just poke his chin and he fell to sleep, people. I need you to understand that. Um, this is going to be a heavyweight fight that most people aren't going to know the people. But if you really want to start getting, if you're interested in the MMA, just start watching these guys. I mean, watch the undercard, watch the undercard people. I mean, watch the main event, watch the opening fights. Don't be the people that just watch the three main fights. No, go and explore these guys.
Yeah, check it out. You just Google their names on YouTube, man. They're crazy.
Yeah, and then the other opening fight, which is Jeremy Stevens versus Calvin Qatar. If you want to see two guys that are on it like that, I mean, punches galore, staying in the pocket, gonna hit each other until one falls asleep. I mean, that's these guys right there. I mean, they're not big names, like super big names, but in the fight community, everybody knows who they are, and they know that they're here to try and redeem themselves.
Oh yeah, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of knockouts in this fight card, man. I mean, I want to be surprised. There a lot of these guys like to throw punches.
If I can guarantee it, I mean, I'm not gonna put money on it, but
Yeah, don't be an MJ.
I like MJ. I like MJ. Uh, but I would say more than half of this card is gonna end by stoppage.
I agree with that.
How? I don't know. That's the mystery in this sport, and that's what I love this sport. Um, and it's just gonna be fun. I mean, for people that aren't used to this, and you want to get introduced to like this and show that you wanna you wanna see how this goes, this is your fight to watch. Because we're all in lockdown. None of us have anything else to do on a Friday night. Might as well experience it.
Right. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, you ready to switch it up, switch gears a little bit?
Yeah. Probably
Yeah.
people are like, okay, we're sick of UFC. Let's get on to a new topic.
Yeah. So I mean, speaking of anything can happen in any moment. Let's get into the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen at any moment. You know, it's not going on right now, but there's a lot of the draft just happened, a lot of big trades, some other signings and stuff happened out. Let's touch base on the draft real quick. What was Green Bay doing? What were they doing? Come on now. I mean, come on, Briss.
I'm saddened. Like, I want to look at Green Bay, the front office, and say, if I was or let me put it like this: if I was Aaron Rodgers, when I saw that draft slip go to the board and them announce that pick, I would be calling my coach, my front office, and say, "Hey, I want to trade right now. You do not trust me. You have not picked a first round offensive pick in the last I don't know how many years."
Since Aaron Rodgers, I think.
Yeah, I mean, get this guy some weapons. He's the bad man for a reason. Let this bad man do what he does. Aaron Rodgers, I think Aaron Rodgers' legacy is being hurt by his front office and his team because he doesn't have help from now on. They let his wide
Right.
receivers go that he likes, he feels are good with him, and then the next year they trade him. And it's like, let this guy get chemistry with certain guys that are weapons and let him go to work. What's your
No,
take?
man. I I see what they're trying to do. You know, he's getting up there in age. They did the same thing with Favre. They brought in Rodgers. Now they're bringing this guy, and I get it from being the GM and stuff like that. You want to develop quarterbacks because nowadays everyone just throws the rookie in right away, and they get them playing. The next thing you know, they wash out. So I mean, it's cool to kind of get these guys developed. It's cool, but you never done anything for Aaron Rodgers in the drafts. You haven't really done much for him. So I mean, it's come on now. I mean, you got to compete. Everyone's trying to compete to win. I mean, I didn't see them making those moves.
To be honest with you, I don't see them in a good position this year at all. I mean, I feel like Aaron Rodgers needs to get traded if they're gonna want to develop that guy. If you want to develop him
Uh,
now, put him in the front and say, "Hey, Aaron Rodgers, where do you want to go?" I'll tell you one team that'll pick him up right away. That's the Patriots.
Yeah, heck yeah, they need somebody. The Patriots got to pull in someone. I
Hey,
mean, in the NFC now, the NFC is gonna be tough. You got Brady coming in the NFC now.
yeah. I I think we're not gonna see the Aaron Rodgers who we should all be seeing, right? He's the bad man for a reason. He should be in a category with Drew Brees, with Peyton Manning, right? If he got the accolades, but his team is not letting him get those accolades by not helping him with the support he needs.
Yeah.
I think
Oh yeah.
I think we could have seen a better Aaron Rodgers over more time than what we're seeing, and it's sad to see.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and let's touch base on our teams. You know, let me start off. I'm gonna start off with can't say Oakland no more. I'm gonna start with the Las Vegas Raiders, maybe. it was a real Al Davis move. They drafted Henry Ruggs. You know, you draft the fastest guy in the draft. It was a big surprise. Everybody thought it was going to be CeeDee Lamb. So that was very surprising. But looking up his highlight reel and checking out his stats and where he came from, it's exciting to see him go and come out to not Oakland, Vegas. So I have a lot of high hopes. I know everybody's pushing down Carr still. I still think Carr's the man. I still think he's going to get it done. But I think it was a good draft for my team, in a sense. I like all the pieces we picked up. I think we're gonna make something happen. What about you? What about your team?
Let me just pick on the Raiders a little bit right before I get to
All
my
right,
team.
all right.
Well, not really pick. It's more like, would you have wanted CeeDee Lamb? And are you surprised that CeeDee Lamb fell so far? And especially for us West Coast people, a rival like the Dallas Cowboys. Are you okay with that? Are you fine with that? Do you feel like
I'm okay with it. For me, I don't like the Cowboys. So for me, similar reasons to Stephen A. I just don't like the fan base. I don't like them, but I do think they're going to be contenders this year. Finally, they finally got rid of the coach. They got a new coach coming in, so they're going to play a different system or whatever. But I think they might actually turn a table finally and actually start competing better. CeeDee Lamb's coming in. They still got Cooper. I thought Cooper was I think he's kind of washed out. He's kind of overrated, in my opinion. But they still got Zeke the Freak. They still got that offensive line. You know, but speaking too much on them, right? I'm talking way too much about them. Oakland,
hey,
Vegas. That's the team, man. That's the team.
now I will pick on the Dallas Cowboys just to say this out of my voice. Dallas, I don't want to hear anything if you do not make the playoffs this year. I am saying this on what day is it today? Today is May 7th. I do not want to hear any Dallas Cowboy if you do not make the playoffs. There is no excuse. You had an all-star offensive team and you did nothing with it last year. You have a new coach now. And now you even have one more star power offensive player in CeeDee Lamb. If you do not do anything with it, just break that team up. Sell all those guys. There's no point.
I think the recent signing of Andy Dalton was a good pickup for them. You know, I mean, I have questions about Dak Prescott personally. I don't know if he's going to be that elite guy that you want him to be. Dalton, I mean, he was there for a minute. I think he was just in a bad system. I think with a new team, a new look, I mean, he could possibly. They're looking at it as Carson Wentz, Nick Foles, right?
Yeah.
Dalton's going to be the great guy that can step in and get you those wins. So when Dak messes up, or Dalton's going to come in and clean up. He's a great passer.
I think what it comes down to is, because don't get me wrong, I like Andy Dalton myself. I think Cincinnati did him wrong, and we can touch on that a little bit later. But Dallas, you got to use it right. I mean, if you see that Dak Prescott's percentages aren't as well, um, sit him. I mean, I know you guys are paying a big, or he hasn't signed a new contract, correct?
No. I think he has until July 15th too, as well,
Okay.
and I think that's why he's franchise tag. But I mean, I know the agents are going to push for that, and he'll probably get it. He'll probably get a deal.
I think
I'm assuming.
I think they're gonna pay him, right? I mean, ultimately, I'm pretty sure they're gonna pay him. But if he does not perform, I don't care how much money. You sit that man down and you let Andy Dalton go to work because he is a starter in the NFL. I think he's one of the most.
Yes.
I think he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league. Like you said, he doesn't have the system. But Dallas, if you do not make the playoffs with your system, let all those players go and rebuild. I'm tired of hearing your fan base say we are contenders for the last I don't know how many years and do not.
Something's gonna go wrong, man.
Yeah. Um,
No.
don't get me wrong.
Who's another?
If you're a Cowboys fan, I like you as a person, but when it comes to football, I do not like you.
Exactly. Another big guy, Cam Newton, dude. Nobody wants him. I don't know what's going on. I mean, there's talks that some people are saying, you know what, I want to go in and sign as a backup quarterback. You're a starter. Just sit it out then. Sit out the season. I don't know, though. He's been injured already. I mean, he already sat out for a long time.
I don't think, everybody's saying he's a starter. I'll be honest. I I think everybody has hyped up Cam Newton because he's kind of a crybaby. Um, when he doesn't get what he wants, he goes to the media. Like after the Super Bowl, he didn't want to talk to anybody in the media, right? And then, but at the time, he was thought to be like one of the greatest or one
No,
of
he was on his MVP level right there.
right, and he just has. For me, he hasn't produced. But mind you, I'm not in the NFL. I'm just a regular guy watching, so my opinions could go out the window one day and be another one the next. Um, but I just don't think Cam Newton is the guy right now. I mean, he's been hurt. He didn't come off a really good year. Um, I think playing backup, it's not going to get you the money you need or deserve, right? But it lets you develop. And if they want to throw you in that system, they'll throw you in that system, and then you can, like Tom Brady, he said, once you get on that field, you go to work, and you don't let anybody else come on. I mean, that's why greatness is greatness, right? Once you get that inch in, you don't give it up. And unfortunately, he's given it up a little bit just because he hasn't produced.
No, Cam, I think he should sign and go in as a backup QB, maybe more and in his favor, go somewhere where it could be kind of likely he'd be pushed up to get those starts. But let's switch up. You just mentioned Tom Brady, dude. Let's talk about him for a second. Is he the greatest of all time or what at QB? Is he going to do great in Tampa Bay? Gronk just came. You know, guys want to play with him. Everybody loves him. And what is it, Tom, that got those Super Bowl wins, or was it the organization of the Patriots?
Okay, MJ documentary. Um,
It's a little bit football. You gotta agree. Football's a little bit different than basketball. You know.
yeah, it is. And it does have a lot to do with the organization more than the players, I believe. Um, with Tom Brady, I think if they get him the guys and they get him the line that he deserves and needs to stay healthy, which I think they did in the draft. They got a really good guard, I believe, out of Iowa, who's gonna keep him safe on the blind side. Um, it's gonna come down to risk management. Is if you can get this guy not hit. I think if you get him throughout the season and throughout the playoffs the cleanest way possible, he's gonna be lethal. Um, However, I am a Peyton man, and I gotta throw my dig in there,
Oh,
dig in there
okay,
every once in a
okay.
while.
I only like Peyton for his commercials now. I mean, he's a great player, but I got to take Tom over him.
Um, I I think it's gonna come down to Tampa's defense. I think that offense is what everybody's focusing, right? But what wins championships? Defense. Defense wins championships, and I don't know Tampa Bay's defense so well, like if they're a top five defense or, um, but they didn't have a successful year last year, and I think that's a big worry in Tom Brady's head right now. Because right, adding Gronk is amazing. You have a great wide receiver core, but if you don't defend the points that you're putting up, how do you win a game?
To me, I think the offense is so potent. Is so potent that it transitions to the defense. You know, like they can manage the clock and be able to keep their defensive guys well rested and not be on the field as much. You know, I mean, I think Tom Brady's done it with the Patriots a few times where they didn't have that great of a defense, but you know, the offense is so lethal, so legit, and he's got all these weapons with him. I think his only competition is going to be the New Orleans Saints, man. If they can get past them, which I mean, they're both in age, Brees and Brady, but to me, Brady, and with the offensive line thing, man, I mean, you're on the TB12 program. Come on now. You're in the best shape of your life. Come
Hey
on. I want to get
man,
on the TB12 program.
when you get
That
hit,
boy's young still.
when you get hit, it's a different story, dude. This man is
Oh,
the
he's He's gonna feel it just like as if he was in his 20s because he's on TB12. He's Tom Brady. He's equivalent to LeBron James taking care of your body. That's what Tom does. He takes care of his body.
Doesn't he eat straight up avocado by itself or something like that in the program?
I think so. He's
Something like
got a great diet.
Stop it. I like my steak. All right. Um, I don't know. I think what it's gonna happen is it's gonna be a lot of probabilities that are out of his hands, right? Because Gronk's still a question, right? He's taking the time off, but like, is he still partying? I mean, he's the great party animal, like,
Well, I mean, but he still comes and competes. I think. I don't know. I think and Gronk, he retired too early. Like, you know, he's still got a lot left in his tank, I believe.
yeah. I think the thing is like, is he ready to come back? You know, the question is like, those guys leave, and then like questions always, are you ready to come back? Are you physically? It's not just physically. Are you mentally ready to come back? Because he did say when he did retire, um, that he was tired of getting hit that many times. I mean, he came out with a lot of
Right.
injuries. Um,
Oh
and
yeah, there's some players and one that speaks to my mind that retired in similar ways. Megatron. You know, I thought he still had a lot left in him, but I mean, it's their choice at the end of the day, right?
yeah,
But man, no, I think Gronk still has it. I think he can still do it. Because we know Tom Brady's not going to play that long. I mean, he wants to. He's defining all these odds. He wants to go to 45, I think, and he might be able to do it. I don't know, but I think Gronk has enough of those years too as well to put in with them and stick it that long.
you know, don't get me wrong. I respect Tom Brady, but like, look at Peyton, right? Peyton wanted to go till 40 something too, but when you get hit and you constantly get hit, and unfortunately it's because organizations don't have cap space to pay your linemen, uh, it takes a toll on you. 45 is a long time to try and get there for, that's what, 4 seasons for him, I believe, something like that,
Um,
around there, something.
yeah, around there. But and a lot of people like to forget that, man. Drew Brees is just like a year younger than Tom. You know, he's pushing these odds too as well. We overshadow that a lot. You know what I mean? Because we
And he's
just see the
small.
great Tom Brady playing with his age, and Drew Brees looks in great shape as well.
Yeah, I think Drew Brees is gonna get to the point where he's okay with retiring. I don't think he'll do too
No,
much.
actually, Tom Brady's going to be 43 in August. This August, he'll be 43.
Okay, so I was way off. I thought he was barely turning 40. This is insane.
No, and I knew he was at least in his 40s already. And then Drew Brees just turned 41.
You know,
But
I give Drew Brees maybe 2 years at that. I think he's gonna be okay with stepping away from the game earlier, um, just because he doesn't have that drive like Brady does. Brady wants to get another one, another ring. Drew Brees got his. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer. I mean,
yeah,
all he needs to do is just finish out these years, maybe get another one. I think the Saints could get one if they don't choke. Um,
I don't think he'll get one now with Tom in the division. I don't think it'll happen.
it's tough. They battle it out, man. Hey, we'll see during football. That's all you can say.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, speaking of old guys, I want to talk about this one last minute running backs. Frank Gore, New York, right? I mean, running backs don't play as long as this man has been playing. I mean, he's the definition of consistency. I mean, talk about another guy who takes care of his body, man. I mean, gosh, can't
Uh,
believe he's coming out of retirement to do it again.
I'm not
36 years old.
mad at it, but I'm also not satisfied with it. Just because right he I believe he's in the top 5 now for top running
Top
yards,
three. He's the third.
top 3 for rushing. But is that all you're going for with the Jets? Why would you sign with the Jets?
Yeah, I think they still have a. Who's the other back there? Is it Not Le'Veon Bell, right? It's
Yeah, it is Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, Le'Veon. Okay, yeah. So I mean, they're gonna split the carries, and you know, as older guy, Frank Gore. Uh, I mean, he's still got gas in the tank, man.
Do a
I don't
Marshawn.
know what he's coming back for. I don't know if he's going for. Yeah, and then Marshawn's looking at coming back too, and
But to a
those are
contender.
guys that can.
To
Huh?
a contender.
Yeah, to a contending team. You know, that's the difference right there between the guys. But Marshawn, I mean, they got gas in the tank still. They can get off with these runs, but they're not going to be the guys that are going to be doing it every down. You know, there's got to be another back in that system.
Um, I'm sad because, Frank Gore had his 49er days, glory. Buffalo Bills was a little bit rough.
Yeah,
But he was, like you said, he's consistent. He'll get you yards after contact.
you're right.
But the thing is, like, what are you coming back for? Is it for dignity? Is it for your rushing yards? Are you trying to get top one? Because I think to get top one is ridiculous amount of yards within like even 5 years or something like that, if I'm correct.
Right. No, yeah. I think I don't know where he's at, but I don't know if he's trying to climb the list. I saw someone else reported saying that maybe he wants to pull kind of like a LeBron James in a sense. You want to play so your kid gets into the league. Because Frank Gore's got a kid who plays running back, I believe, but he's in like high school.
This is
But I
not
mean, it's still that's a long time.
this is not basketball. I mean, you take less contact. Right? I mean, that's just the nature of the sport. You take less contact in basketball, and there's less chance for injury than there is in football. Football, you're literally putting you're putting your body on the line, and literally there's guys that are 300 pounds across from you that are going to try and tackle you. Oh, but behind that, there's another group of guys that are probably about 240, 250 who run just as fast as you and are going to try and hit you. And hey, man, you had enough paydays. Did you not save any? Or you should have a good retirement.
Maybe it's just for the love of the game. You know, maybe they just miss it. They don't. They just want to keep doing it for a while. They don't know what they're going to do afterwards. I don't
Hey,
know.
hey, I love this game of soccer, but I'm not going to go competitively play anymore. I knew when to hang up the boots. I mean, at a professional level, you should learn how to do it. I feel. I mean, he's already one of the greatest running backs, I feel, in history. What
Yeah.
what more do you have to prove? If it's a money thing, that's one thing. Um, but to go to a team like the Jets, who are a mess, I say absolute mess. Um, like last year, Sam Darnold was out because of mono series. Uh,
Yeah. Right. No. Yeah.
um, I don't know any other star player other than Le'Veon Bell and Sam Darnold. Um,
And Le'Veon Bell just did it for the money. I think like that's the only reason why he's there. They're not going to win a chip
yeah,
in New York. The Jets there. They're not going to do it. Gore, yeah, like you said, I don't know what his intentions were. Maybe he just wants to come out, run over some people a little bit. I don't
hey,
know how much longer he wants to do it.
you're telling me that the 49ers would not have said, "Hey, come back for one more season"?
Right. You would have thought like, hey, you know what? Frank Gore wants to come back. Hey, why don't you come back? We can play it out one more time and you could retire with the Niners.
Because the Niners
Even though
did,
he's retired. Yeah.
yeah, and the Niners did give up one of their best backs, I believe, Breida. They gave him to the Dolphins, and that just leaves a space for him to go in there and play a role. Um, you're obviously going to have better protection than what you're going to have at the Jets. Um, I I would have liked this if he came back to a more secure team.
Right. No, actually, I'm checking it out right here. Frank Gore's son is 18 years old. You know, so I mean, he wouldn't be too far away from coming into the NFL if he's going to get in there.
You still
I
got to
think
go.
he's gonna.
You still got to go 3 years in college.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's a while, but I mean, we've seen all these older guys that obviously the quarterback position is different from the running back position, but running backs they're said they're to only go until like they're in their 30s, like barely hitting 30s, then that's it.
I mean,
Gore's,
it's a cool thing to see, but man, this guy's gonna get beat up. He's gonna
yeah,
get beat up, and I don't want to see that. Um,
yeah. Well,
it's a tough one.
I mean, there's not too much news going around in the NFL. Let's wrap up here. I think that's it.
let me say, my Colts, hey, you have done a great job of getting trades out of the draft and trying to build our team.
It
And
must have hurt with Andrew Luck leaving.
well, that was last season. Now we got Philip Rivers. I mean, I wasn't so much of a fan, but he is a veteran. He's not over the peak yet. He's close, but he got a 1-year contract. So hopefully we're the last team before he goes over the peak. Um, I mean, I'm biased because I am a fan of them, but I think we have a chance at a run, and people don't respect our team, and we're coming for you guys. Um, yeah, I am saying this. We are coming for you guys, and I think people are going to be sleeping on us since the NFL schedule came out. We only got one Thursday night game, no late night Sunday games, um, and I wasn't sure if we got any Monday night games. But wow, not one game to us. But you gave the Jets one. Um, People will be surprised by the Colts. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. No, I mean, Philip coming from our division, for me with the Raiders, he was always the guy I didn't like, but you could always respect his talent. He seems like the kind of guy who should have got a ring, should have got a chip. For a long while the Chargers, they handled the AFC West, but they never got it done. I still think he's a great talent. I think he's gonna fit in great with the Colts. And
Yeah,
hopefully you guys can develop another younger quarterback to come and take over. Because obviously we know Phillip's not going to go that long.
hopefully. We do already have Brissett, but we did get Philip Rivers a couple weapons like Pittman Jr. We still have Ty. We got a great running back out of Nebraska, I believe. I'm forgetting his name right now, but he was supposed to go in the first round, and we picked him up in the second or third. I mean, that's unheard of. Um, and then we got a couple more linemen, more defensive people that I like, and I think we just fit our team around nicely, and we'll be a contender for the next couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's look forward to all this happening. I know the NFL's going to start with phase one. They want to start out on May 15th, coming out to try to reopen facilities, try to get this off season going. MLB wants to come out and start in July. UFC is the biggest thing happening right now. We just talked about it. They're coming out. NBA, they're going to have a phone call, I believe, on Friday with the players union. They're going to talk about how we're going to get this coming back together, get it going. That's very exciting. I'm very excited to see. They can't cancel the season. You got to see it play out. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
hurtful for everybody. So
I know soccer's coming back as well. The only thing is that
yes,
the French league did cancel, um, but as of right now, that's the only league I believe that's major has canceled, and crowned the champion, which is surprising. That's a little weird for me, but that you cancel a season and you crown a champion. I feel if you cancel a season, you just don't declare a champion. But we're not the head bodies of that. But I think we're gonna get. I wouldn't say back to normal, but changes are coming back in the right direction.
right. And we all want to see sports no matter what. We don't care if there's no fans in the stadium. We don't care if it's dead silence. We just want to see these guys compete.
Yep.
So until next time, everybody, go ahead and subscribe to our channel, like it, leave us some comments, let us know what you want us to talk about, or let us know how we did. We like to read the comments. Until next time, though, that's Briss. I'm Dominic. We're out. Peace.
Peace.